What if the greatest obstacle standing between you and the life you were born to live is not a person, not a circumstance, not a lack of resources or opportunity, but a voice, a single, persistent, deeply familiar voice that has been speaking to you for as long as you can remember, telling you that you are not ready, not worthy, not capable, not enough? What if that voice has already cost you more than you will ever be able to calculate? What if it has been stealing from you every single day in ways so subtle that you have barely noticed, and yet when you look at the distance between where you are and where you dreamed of being, the evidence of its destruction is undeniable? Today we are going to face that voice together. We are going to look the enemy within directly in the eyes, and we are going to understand it, expose it, and begin the process of defeating it once and for all. This is not a comfortable conversation. It is not meant to be, because the truth that has the power to set you free rarely feels comfortable in the moment it is delivered. But I promise you this, if you stay with every word of what follows, something inside you is going to shift. Something that has been holding you back is going to loosen its grip. And you are going to walk away from this moment seeing yourself and your potential in a way you may never have allowed yourself to before. Stay with me. This is your moment. There is a war being fought right now. Not in some distant land, not between nations or ideologies, but inside you. Inside every single human being who has ever dared to want something more from life. It is the war between who you truly are and who your doubt has convinced you that you are. It is the war between your potential and your fear, between your dreams and the voice that tells you those dreams are not for someone like you. This war is the defining conflict of your life, and whether you win or lose it will determine everything. The enemy in this war does not carry weapons you can see. It does not announce its attacks with warning sirens. It is subtle, sophisticated, and devastatingly effective. It is the voice of self-doubt, and it is the most dangerous enemy you will ever face. Not because it is more powerful than you, but because it lives inside you. It speaks in your own voice. It uses your own memories, your own failures, your own insecurities as ammunition. And because it sounds so familiar, so reasonable, so much like the honest truth, most people never question it. They simply surrender to it and call it wisdom. But let me tell you something today that I need you to truly hear. Self-doubt is not wisdom. Self-doubt is not honesty. Self-doubt is not your friend trying to protect you from disappointment. Self-doubt is a liar wearing the mask of a realist. It is fear dressed up in the language of caution. And it has been running your life for far too long. Where did this voice come from? It did not appear from nowhere. Self-doubt has a birthplace and a history. It was born in the moments when you were told you were not enough. It took root in a classroom where a teacher's careless words planted seeds of inadequacy in the fertile soil of your young mind. It grew in environments where love felt conditional, where your worth seemed tied to your performance, where criticism came easily and encouragement came rarely. It was reinforced by a world that constantly compares human beings to each other on impossibly narrow scales, leaving almost everyone feeling perpetually insufficient. Every rejection you ever experienced, every failure you ever suffered, every moment of humiliation or embarrassment added another layer to the architecture of doubt inside you. But here's what you must understand. That voice is not the truth about who you are. It is a collection of wounds. It is a pile of borrowed opinions and misguided judgments from people and experiences that never had the full picture of your potential. You have been living under a weight that was never yours to carry. The story that self-doubt has been telling you about yourself is not your story. It is a fiction written by fear. And today we begin the process of rewriting it. Do you have any idea what self-doubt has stolen from you? I do not mean this as a rhetorical question. I mean it as a genuine and urgent invitation for you to look clearly at the cost. Because self-doubt is not a passive feeling that simply makes life a little more uncomfortable. It is an active and relentless thief. It steals your mornings by flooding them with anxiety before the day has had a chance to begin. It steals your conversations by making you swallow words that deserve to be spoken. It steals your creativity by convincing you that your ideas are not worthy of the world's attention. It steals your relationships by making you hold back the fullness of who you are from the people who are waiting to love you completely. It steals your opportunities by making every step forward feel presumptuous and every risk feel catastrophic. It steals your joy by ensuring that even in your greatest moments of success, there is a voice whispering that you do not deserve it, that it will not last, that sooner or later, everyone will discover you are not as capable as they think. And perhaps most heartbreakingly, self-doubt steals the people whose lives you were meant to change. The gifts you never shared, the words you never spoke, the leadership you never stepped into, the love you never fully gave. All of it stolen quietly day by day by the enemy within. This is why I'm standing here today telling you that overcoming self-doubt is not a luxury. It is not a nice addition to your personal development journey. It is the most urgent and important work of your life. Because everything else you want, every goal, every dream, every relationship, every achievement exists on the other side of the doubt you must be willing to face and defeat. Now I want to give you one of the most liberating truths about courage that I have ever encountered, because I think it will change the way you approach the voice of doubt from this day forward. Courage is not the absence of self-doubt. Courage is the decision to move forward in spite of it. Let that land. Every brave soul who ever changed the course of history felt doubt. Every great leader, every extraordinary artist, every visionary entrepreneur, every ordinary person who made an extraordinary choice, they all felt the voice of uncertainty pressing against them. The difference between those who rose and those who remained paralyzed was never the absence of doubt. It was the refusal to give doubt the final vote. This means that you do not need to wait until you feel confident. You do not need to wait until the voice inside you quiets down before you take your next step. You simply need to take the step. Act in spite of the doubts, speak in spite of the fear, create in spite of the uncertainty, apply in spite of the voice that says you are not qualified, show up in spite of the feeling that you might fail. Because every single time you choose action over hesitation, you weaken the enemy within. You shrink its power just a little more. You build the muscle of courage, not by thinking about being courageous, but by actually doing the courageous thing, again and again, until one day you look back and realize the voice that once controlled your every move has become little more than background noise. So how do you silence the enemy within? You begin with awareness. You cannot fight an enemy you refuse to acknowledge. Start listening to the voice of self-doubt with a critical and questioning ear rather than an obedient one. When it speaks, do not automatically believe it. Challenge it. Ask it for evidence. Ask it whether what it is saying is an established fact or simply a feeling dressed up as a fact. Ask it who told you that, and whether that source deserves the authority you have given it over your life. Most of the time, you will discover that self-doubt operates entirely on assumptions, old wounds, and borrowed fears, rather than on any actual truth about your current capabilities. Then feed your mind deliberately. Your internal voice is shaped by what you consistently pour into your consciousness. If you fill your mind with stories of people who overcame what seemed impossible, with wisdom that challenges you to rise, with voices that remind you of your worth and your potential, the narrative inside you begins to shift. You cannot keep pouring in poison and expect your thoughts to become medicine. Choose carefully what you read, what you watch, what you listen to, and most importantly, who you spend your time with. Surround yourself with people who see the greatness in you, even on the days when you have completely lost sight of it yourself, and then build your evidence. Self-doubt survives by pointing to your failures and your fears. You counter it by building an undeniable record of your own capability. Take one small courageous action today, then take another tomorrow, then another. Watch what happens when you refuse to listen to the voice that says you cannot. Each completed action, no matter how small, becomes a piece of evidence against the prosecution of self-doubt. And over time, the accumulated evidence of what you are capable of becomes louder, more convincing, and more compelling than anything the enemy within could ever say. Now I want to leave you with this final truth, and I want you to carry it with you from this moment forward. Self-doubt attacks you most fiercely at the exact moments when you are closest to a breakthrough. It does not bother with people who are content to live entirely within comfortable limits, because there is nothing threatening about a life that never challenges its own boundaries. But the moment you dare to reach for something greater, the moment you begin moving in the direction of your true purpose and potential, the voice of self-doubt rises to its loudest and most convincing volume. And most people interpret that rising volume as a signal to stop. But that rising intensity is not a stop sign. It is a confirmation sign. It is the universe telling you that you are moving in exactly the right direction. The greatness you are reaching for is real. The potential inside you is not a fantasy or a delusion. It is a truth that your doubt has been working overtime to prevent you from discovering. Every person in history who achieved something extraordinary stood at this exact crossroads. They felt the full crushing weight of their own self-doubt bearing down on them, and they chose to push through anyway. And on the other side of that choice, they found not just success, but the profound and irreplaceable satisfaction of knowing they did not let the enemy within win. You have that same choice in front of you right now. The enemy within is real, but it is not stronger than you. It has never been stronger than you. It has only ever been louder. And today, we have begun to turn down the volume. We have walked together today through the darkest corridors of the human mind, and we have shone a light on the enemy that lives there. We have named it, we have understood it, we have seen the destruction it causes, and we have equipped ourselves with the truth and the tools to begin defeating it. Self-doubt is the enemy within, but you are the warrior within. And warriors do not surrender to voices. They rise above them. Imagine your greatest self, not the self that doubt has constructed with its limitations and its whispered lies, but the self that exists in your deepest moments of clarity, in the quiet hours when you dare to dream without restriction. That self is not an illusion. That self is not too much to ask for. That self is who you actually are when the enemy within finally stops running the show. And that self is worth every battle, every uncomfortable step forward, every moment of doing the courageous thing despite the fear. Never doubt yourself. Not because life will always be easy, not because failure will never visit you again, but because you are far more capable than your fear has ever allowed you to believe. The world does not need a smaller, safer, more doubting version of you. It needs the full, unfiltered, unapologetic, completely alive version of you. And it has been waiting long enough. The enemy within has had its time. Now it is yours. To every person who chose to spend this time looking inward rather than looking away, thank you from the deepest part of this message. Thank you for being brave enough to face the conversation that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Thank you for caring enough about your own life to sit with these truths even when they were uncomfortable. That choice, that single act of showing up for yourself today is already proof that the enemy within does not have as much control over you as it would like you to believe. Go forward from this moment with your head lifted and your doubt firmly in its place, which is beneath your feet, not above your mind. You are not your fear. You are not your past. You are not the voice that says you cannot. You are everything that voice has been trying to prevent you from becoming. Good luck. Not because you need luck, but because you deserve every extraordinary thing that is waiting for you on the other side of your courage. Go get it. The world is ready for you.